Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton Story.
Why me?
It has all the royal gossip, opulent attire, spectacular balls, and of course, a ton of steamy sex.
Like lots of babies. As many babies as possible for my son.
No one can dispute the unrivaled horniness of the Bridgerton world. But the most recent spin-off manages to crank up the heat even higher than fans anticipated.
Hello, my lady. Are you in need of assistance of some kind?
If you must know, I'm trying to climb over the garden wall.
You hate me a little.
The genesis story of Queen Charlotte and King George first sparked a lot of curiosity. The royal couple has only appeared in a small number of scenes together in Bridgerton. But boy, did those horn dogs disprove everyone who had doubts. It turned out that after their marriage, even while they were arguing, Charlotte and George couldn't keep their hands off of one another. And Queen Charlotte certainly crossed the line with these unrestrained sexual encounters. So Series Ruffle brings you top 5 steamy scenes of Charlotte Bridgerton. Number 5. Lady Danbury gets on top. Lady Danbury has the season's most disgusting sex scene.
It was a good run.
Agatha Danbury finally takes charge of her sex life by allowing Violet's father, Lord Ledger, into her bedroom after years of experiencing dreadful and maybe abusive sex. Lord Ledger is flipped onto his back to emphasize Lady Danbury's change fully before she takes the top spot. As we all now understand, Lady Danbury has held the top position ever since. Number 4. George and Charlotte's dining room spectacle.
Will you please no longer breathe so very loudly?
Would you please not talk?
I will talk.
George and Charlotte's resentment for one another quickly transforms into animalistic horniness in front of their entire crew, making it likely the most sensuous moment of the entire show without any skin exposure. It will go down in sleazy Bridgerton history how the two lovers can't even wait a second before pawing at one another on the dining room table.
It is an even day.
It is.
Number 3. Brimsley and Reynolds' secret tryst. Finally, there is an LGBTQ+ romance in the Bridgerton universe, and it is one that is very hot. While Brimsley and Reynolds' need to conceal their relationship isn't exactly ideal, it does make their covert encounters more explicit. The two servants talk about the king and queen's marital problems, while undressing one another in their first private moment together. There are obviously no issues with lovemaking in the servants' quarters. Number 2. George and Charlotte's bathtub bliss. When things are particularly even, Charlotte storms into George's restroom with a purpose. George tells his employees to leave the room without even getting out of his bathtub, and Charlotte follows suit by hopping in after him. They are basically having the steamiest hookup ever. And finally, number 1. George and Charlotte's honeymoon. The first time is simply impossible to top. Their honeymoon sex is a great release for both George and Charlotte and for every viewer after all the anticipation around them finally having their wedding. The royal pair more than demonstrates their connection in a minute-long montage of thrusting and groaning, which you can either watch with complete focus or while sweating bullets if your parents are around.